Welcome once again to the Triton Tracker. Last week, both the men's and women's basketball teams split a pair of non-conference basketball games against Embry-Riddle and Palm Beach Atlantic. On the women's side, the Tritons picked up a road win at Embry-Riddle on Wednesday, 70-58, behind a late surge that saw them score 14 unanswered points during the final 3 minutes of the game. That run came after Eckerd saw a previous 11-point lead turn into a 2-point deficit, but was powered by relentless defense that led the Tritons the rest of the way. During its last 7 possessions, Eckerd forced Embry-Riddle into 4 missed shots and 3 turnovers. As a team, the Tritons hit 22 of 26 free throws on the game, including 7 for 7 in the final 3 minutes. Margaret Sundberg led Eckerd with 15 points, 11 of which were scored in the first half. Victoria Vine followed with 13 points in the second half to finish the game with 14 total. Chelsea Johnson came off the bench to also score 14 points. Against PBA, a cold shooting second quarter saw Eckerd's 7-point first quarter lead turn into a 9-point halftime deficit on Saturday. The Tritons returned from halftime rejuvenated and cut the difference to just 1 point on a 3-pointer by Johnson with 6:37 left to play. However, the Sailfish never surrendered the lead and defeated the Tritons 71-64 inside the MacArthur Center. Anna Deegan hit 3 field goals from beyond the arc to lead EC with 13 points. Casey Jude, Sundberg, and Johnson all added 10 to round out the double-figure scoring. Ashley Folsom pulled down a new career-high 12 rebounds on the night. The men had possessed the longest active winning streak in Division II with 16 straight wins, which was also a program record, but the Eagles of Embry-Riddle conquered the streak in Daytona Beach 68-65. The Tritons were haunted by a poor free throw shooting performance, 10 first-half turnovers, and getting out-rebounded for the third time in 4 games. With a much-improved second half, though, Eckerd managed to cut the deficit to 3 points with under a minute to play, but were unable to capitalize on missed free throws by the Eagles with its own blunders at the line. Drew Sean McLaurin led all scorers with 24 points on an 11 of 15 shooting performance. Trayvon Young followed with 14 points, while Kevin Walsh added 12. Saturday's contest against PBA allowed the Tritons an opportunity to respond, and respond they did. Eckerd quickly took a 24-5 lead and never looked back on its way to a 79-67 victory in St. Petersburg. During the first half, the Tritons showcased their abilities with efficient ball movement that led to high percentage shots along with a dominant rebounding performance and lockdown defense. EC held PBA to 22.6 shooting performance in the first half while out-rebounding the Sailfish 33-13. The 45-17 halftime lead was the largest lead the Tritons had possessed at intermission since leading Puerto Rico Bayamon 47-13 on November 27th. Bradley Reibel netted a career-high 15 points in the win while knocking down a trio of three-pointers. Trayvon Young was right behind with 14 points. Ray Darnell followed with a season-high 12 points, while Obiche added 11. Both teams now prep for the second half of their conference schedules with a pair of road games at St. Leo on Wednesday and Florida Tech on Saturday. Thank you for joining us once again on the Triton Tracker. We'll be back next week with more Triton news.